Gemini is taking notes.
Yeah. There's me subtracting. All right. How do we do this?
I feel like since it's only. Can you help us pronounce your name? I don't want to butcher your name.
It's okay. Okay, so normally these office hours are maybe a little more interesting when people are here and ask questions. So if you have questions, ask them in the chat. Otherwise, we will just have a conversation about what we should sell next and how we can use data to find winning product ideas. I think this is a relatively broad topic, and there will be a ton to say. This is recorded, will go on YouTube. And if there are no particular questions at the end, like we'll just have had a conversation on that topic.
Okay.
Okay. Well, hi, Joachim. So,
Wait, no, who pronounced it perfect? Cyril or I? Okay.
it's a pretty, it's not necessarily the most common name, but I've heard it before.
Fine.
All right. So, hello from Listadum. I'm Cyril, and Nea is here. Today, we are going to answer what looks like a simple question, but it's actually a very complicated topic. What should I sell next? And how to use data to find winning product ideas. It's a pretty broad topic. There is no particular answer on how to do it correctly, and we're just going to share what we have learned from working with thousands of shops, but also from running our own Etsy shops. Okay, before we begin, I think live agenda making, I think there are like two things I'd like to touch on in today's session. The first one is, how can you use data on your own shop to understand what you should do more of? What are the winning products within your shop so that you understand what to do more of or how to expand your current shop? And the second time, I'd like to understand how to use market research tools to inform you and understand what to build next. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good.
How do you want to talk a little bit about how to use data in your own shop?
Yeah, sure. Do you want to like maybe open Arterdom or something, like some shop so we can?
No problem. All right. So looking at a shop like this, maybe.
Our shop is pretty open. And so when you come to Listadum, like first thing people see is like the listing manager, which gives you a bunch of statistics. And sometimes it's like overwhelming to see, hey, what are these colors? Green, yellow, what are all these metrics? So here we are kind of demystifying that and telling you how to use this particular page to figure out what to sell next. So
what do you see?
Yeah, so what do I see? Generally, like when I go, I sort by, like you always have some top sellers in your shop. And there are two things you need to do, like monitor your top sellers to see if they're going up and down. And then second, monitor the health of your new listings and see how they are performing. Those are the two usual things I do. So say if I have some listings which has, for example, a lot of views, a lot of favorites, and you can see these columns. There are views and their favorites, and looking at the favorite ratio, it gives you an it gives you an idea that, okay, so for example, this one with 15 favorites, Cyril, with 14.42 favorite ratio, down.
This one.
Yeah, things like that, which tells you like when people do land on it, end up favoriting it, which is a good indication that they liked the listing, but they didn't convert. Or maybe they converted, you don't know. Because if you think about a buyer's journey on Etsy, a lot of people use favorite as like lists to collect and buy later. Some people just add it to their cart, which we can't really show here because Etsy doesn't give us that. So favoriting is a good indicator that people like your product.
Yes.
And if it is being favorited a lot, but it doesn't have enough sales, then you can probably figure out how to boost this listing. This is not an indication that this, like, how do I say it? It's not an indication that it's a bad listing. It just means that you need to promote it.
Yeah,
Then a common.
I think there are like two more things here. Like the color coding actually matters. In this shop, it's a little weird because like even though we have pretty big numbers here, they're showing yellow, but here you see some outliers, at least in the conversion rate section. And so this is what it should be calling your attention is like all these listings, they are getting a significant amount of views, but some of them are in a different color. Why?
You tell us.
You tell us. All right. Well, this is an indicator that these listings require a little bit of attention. Like compared to the other listings, they are acting a little differently. And so it just starts an initial question, why? And then we're going to be able to dig into it. So what we see here is that these listings are getting a certain number of views. So in this case, almost 175 each. And that in these views, they are getting some sales. It's not that many. Some favorites. It's not necessarily that many, although the number greatly varies. But the conversion rate is not as high as other of your top listings. So when it's green, it usually means that these are your top listings. When it's orange, it means like it's slightly less good. Yellow, orange, it's less good than your top listings. And red means that you will be completely underperforming. So in this case, this is telling us, well, if we start with this one that has 2.31% of conversion rate, this is telling us that this one, although 2.31% conversion rate is actually pretty decent, is not doing as good as your other listings. Normally, our other listings on this shop manage to get 4%, 6% conversion rate, but this one doesn't, which means that we managed to get interest from search. People click in search and they don't end up buying as much as for the other listings. This is usually an indication that either the value proposition is not explained properly in your listing. Usually that means that your photos are not explaining enough what it is, or that your photos reveal that the product that people saw in the thumbnail is not exactly what people were looking for. Or the second thing could be that the price is not in line with what people were expecting. And as they get into your listing, they realize, well, this is not exactly the value I was expecting for this price point. These are mostly like the two big thing. If you are selling a physical product, they are like the photos not explaining the value proposition properly, the price being a problem, especially if you have variation. You may have, I'm going to put that in between air quotes, you may have lured the buyer into your listings by showing them a very low price, and then as they are trying to buy, they realize, oh, but that was just for the label of the candle. If I want the candle, it's actually 5 times the price, and they bail from there. This is something that could
Yeah.
decrease your conversion rate.
Sorry, I interrupted you. I feel like it's important to kind of take into account here the age of the listing. There are some listings here which are only 90 days old and they have a lot more sales than the others, which is a good indicator that buyers are looking more for those kind of products. So if you were to diversify and figure out what should I launch next, maybe something on those lines, right? Like
Yes.
sort by age.
Yes, totally. So, well, they are like multiple things. Like before, it's true that the topic of today is what should I launch next? Well, here this is telling you that these things
Don't
are
launch
not
that.
working so well, but this is telling you that this is working well. You have something that is more recent than everything else, and that is making a lot more sales, that is getting more daily views in average than everything else, that is making more sales, that has a very good conversion rate. So what this is saying is that these two free products at the top, they are doing fantastic, but especially this one is something that you have found that is working. So at first, like instinctively, you should think to yourself, is there a way I can do more out of this listing? Can I make different variants? Can I make different things in the spirit of that listing? Can I relaunch this listing to target some slightly different potential buyer so that I have like a same relative product that is being sold to different potential buyers with slightly different positioning? This is one way to look at it.
Yeah, so I think in the beginning, a lot of Etsy sellers, they just love to like launch a lot of things, like throwing spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. And once you start finding products that stick, a general idea is to launch more of those. But it's not a guarantee they all will work because Etsy will not promote similar kind of listings in their search from the same shop. So beware of that, but add something new to those listings so that that's adding value to what customers are looking for. For example, like which one is this? Sort by age, Cyril?
Age?
Yeah, I just like to sort by age. So these listings not doing so great. um,
I don't know why you would want to do that here, but
okay, I mean, this is fine. But
not on this shop. This shop is
like
too.
I think what you have to take here is that why is it working? Why is this listing working? It's like clean aesthetics, multiple products, or whatever is making this listing work. Yeah. So some of it is just aesthetics. People who want to do sets, they find it interesting to add this to their product listings. And then there's another one which has 6 sales, but it's just clean. So kind of understanding what your buyers are looking for and creating more around that. It's also a good idea to kind of create sets of products which go together well.
Yes, especially if you later can bundle them together and encourage buyers to buy groups and sets of products instead of just one, which will increase your average order value. So to summarize a little bit here, like this dashboard here highlights whether you're a top seller, and on top of that, if your shop has been around for a while on Listadum, you will be able to filter onto different type of views that is going to show you if it's directionally going up or down. So right now we are like in a time where Etsy is more tailored towards
Christmas.
Christmas and gifting. So this shop that is more an evergreen product is kind of on the back burner for Etsy, but it's going to come back once the holidays are over. And so this allows you to highlight products that are working for your shop. And so the first instinct you should have is like, how can I do more of this product, or but without creating 100 different variants of your same listing is not going to help you, because Etsy does not really like to put your shop and your hundreds of listing on the first page of results. They're only going to show one, maybe two. Therefore, all the views and all the momentum is going to be focused on one or two listings. So creating 100 listings that target the same potential buyer is not very useful. That said, creating a few more listings that look like this one or that are like slight variants might be helpful for the shop. But after that, we will need to create these listings with a different positioning that are targeting a different niche. So for instance, if people like this aesthetic or this concept with greeting cards, maybe we can start doing something similar for wall art or mock-ups for like I don't know, like the Tumblr mockup or something like this, where we'll put different tumblers in that aesthetic, assuming that this is that aesthetic that is working. We just need to continue and create more product with that aesthetic, but not all greeting cards, because this is quickly going to be saturated
Yeah.
and not bring you views.
I think the goal here is that you rank for multiple primary keywords. So say this one is like multiple greeting cards. So I'm sure we will rank for this, but launching other products that bring traffic to your shop. So say, I mean, this one is a greeting card shop, but whatever. There could be so many other options, like pick different audience segments, like gifts for grandparents, gifts for girlfriend, and all these things. You want to kind of create products for each kind of niche where your shop is shown to buyers for each of your primary keywords. So having multiple listings for same primary keyword is almost hurting your shop, because Etsy is only going to show a few of them. But having multiple listings targeting different kind of audiences is more beneficial.
Makes sense. All right, and I don't know if this works, but like there's just a little sneak peek into something we are developing and that is not widely available to everybody, but we are in the process of building insights. So we have a ton of data inside of Listadum about your shop, and so we will soon be able to give you insight about which one are these bestsellers that you should create variation bundles or related products based on. And as you can see, like these products have been seeing the revenue increase in our bestsellers. There are like tons of other insights that can come, and things around advertising, your profitability, pricing, and tons of insights that are going to help you decide what listings to focus on. Excited about this. I'm looking forward for us to launch that soon. All right, so this is more or less how to look for what's already working in your shop to understand what to do more of.
Variations, yeah, what variations of your current products you can probably explore.
Yes. What about the market research tools? And like we can use data within Listadum and within Etsy itself to understand what to launch next. Do you want to take this? Yeah.
Sure. I feel like for most of the times, it is a good idea to kind of see what's selling on Etsy right now. And a good way to do that is first just Etsy, but like Etsy itself tailor the results for you. They are hyper personalized. So what you see is not what other people see. Etsy also publishes their trends. They also tell you like what's going on right now. And they have marketplace insights now. So they tell you a little bit of, what people are searching for, but it's not very open. It's not like, yes, this is what's trending. So what I like to do is go to Shop Explorer.
Would you like to share a screen, or do you want me to do it?
Yeah, maybe you can.
Okay. No problem. All right, so our Shop Explorer is as part of the market research section in Listadum. And what would you do there?
So yeah, and in the general default view is like the top shops of Etsy. And as everybody knows, Caitlin Minimalist is like the best shop on Etsy. And there's only one. That's not true, but Caitlin is like the top seller. But on the left hand side, we have filters which can help you kind of look for things which are more in line with your product offerings, like what category you sell in. So you can put different. So what first thing I start with, Cyril, is just like look at maybe say last 6 months of data. So
last 6 months, as in
age in months, like shop age.
Okay, so you are just interested in shops that just launched recently, 6 months or less, and that have been successful, like the shops that have been very successful but just launched. What
Because
is
like
it they're doing?
the older shop kind of already have sales momentum and all these good things going on for them. They have thousands of reviews. So the comparison, I can't really compare one to one with them. But when you have some new shops which are doing amazing, it's like, okay, it makes the target a little more achievable. Like, okay, they have been doing well. They've only launched for 6 months. So let's see what they are selling.
Mhm.
So, yeah. Did you search? Okay.
Yes. So filtered like at the edge in months at the bottom, we can say like shops that are less than 6 months old. And it's going to give us shops that are extremely recent and they are sorted by their monthly or total sales here. So like we can see that in 6 months they killed it. Or let's say they have like thousands and thousands of sales. And we can filter furthermore on the category, location, product type. So for instance, let's say that you are building physical product in the art and collectible space. If you look at what has been selling in the past 6 months, you are going to find these shops that managed to get
So these are
thousands
just
of sales.
physical. Yeah, I think Cyril Race still doesn't show your drop down. So yeah, you selected physical
Yes, but I selected
product
physical
type,
product
and
here,
this one
art
is
and
showing you
collectible.
shops that have done amazing and they're less than 6 months old. So it's a good indication that they found the right niches and right product types. Um, so if you're a
Um,
crochet shop and you want 12K sales, this is how you should launch stuff. They have only 33 listings. It's insane.
they are definitely doing something right. And so this is something to study. When you see a shop that is extremely new, less than 6 months, and I've made 12,000 sales with only 33 products. And on top of that, people are happy, very good reviews. This is not like the shop that we were talking about 2 weeks ago that was complete scam. It gained a lot of sales extremely fast, but like if we go back to it today, it only has 1 star reviews because it was AI generated images. It looked very fishy, and indeed, people are not receiving their product.
Aurora
But
Catch.
this one seems a lot more serious. They've been there for 5 months. They've made almost 12,000 sales. They have almost 5 star reviews, hundreds of them, and they are doing something right. So, yeah, like if you
Yeah,
are
I
in the
will.
crochet niche, definitely find inspiration there.
So it's just not just crochet. I would study the shop and see what they are really doing because they are saying forget me not flowers and all these listings kind of look same when you look from afar.
Mhm.
So I don't know which ones are their top sellers. But yeah, the shop is doing amazing. Can you open that shop, Cyril? In yeah. So yeah, they are making 57K a month. And just last view. So you can see their tops, like they have multiple listings. Cyril, what is MIR? Malaysia.
Malaysian ringgit. Okay, so it's a Malaysian store.
It's a Malaysian store. That's cool. But the number of favorites on each listing is a good indicator that this shop listing is in demand. If you look at your own shop, like I feel like only 15 to 20% probably people favorite for something. Like I have a listing which has so many sales, but it has only 50 favorites. So if there are 1,000 favorites here, there are like so many more people. So this one has 100K views, and even with 1% conversion rate, this is making a decent amount of money. So that's a good indicator to see which of their listings are doing. Actually, they have multiple. This is amazing, right?
Yes. So, and this is what we were saying earlier. If you look at the daily views column, it's going to give you an indication of which of their listings are getting more favored in search. And so this one has like 800 views, 600 views, 600 views. These are like phenomenal amount of views. Obviously, these are pushed by ads. These are probably bestsellers as well, because that's kind of the only way to get this. But after the first 3, 4 listings, it drastically goes down to 200 views a day,
No, but
which
1,000
is
is also,
still
yeah, it's
more
good.
than 99% of listings. 99% of listings are getting 1 view a day. So like having 100 views a day on
So
like
okay, here
10.
is where it stops. 17.
like even like 10 listing deep and they're still getting 50 views a day. A listing that is getting 50 views a day is making sale pretty much every day, guaranteed. This shop is doing really well because they have multiple bestsellers, um, and so like they probably address this product that looks similar to slightly different audience. So they have a Christmas version of it. They always have like some sort of like positive notes and things for like various emotion or various gifts. They're doing something right. But
Okay, let's go back to the Shop Explorer.
yes.
Then what else is there? Like, so this is kind of a good indication that, hey, these, how many are there? How many are there in 6 months? I think there must be 500K. Oh no, it's only 31K. Interesting.
Well, we are literally like in art and collectible physical
Oh,
product
okay, yeah.
if
Because
we
I
were
think last
to,
I checked, there were like 1.3 million shops that opened last year.
yes.
Okay.
So basically, in the last 6 months, we've
Oh, there
detected
is a Aurora catch.
half a million shops.
So yeah, that's like a really good tool to kind of just sit and spend a few hours, every month to see which shops are doing good and not. Write down an idea list of possible products that you can probably explore and understand what strategy they are applying. You don't really know if they're running ads or not, but most of the times, whenever there is an accelerated growth, they are probably pushing it with ads as well.
Yes, to get like this kind of like exponential growth, there is usually something that starts with some level of marketing. So pushing out on ads on Etsy or outside of Etsy, as well as sometimes like a social strategy where they manage to get their first few sellers from their social following. And once you have this momentum going and you start getting bestseller badges on Etsy and get like recommended by Etsy, then it's kind of snowballs. And this is what you want to engineer. You want to engineer launching product with momentum behind it, coming from ads, social, and everything you can, so that if you're selling the right thing and you get this initial momentum, then there you go.
Yeah. I was curious if they are actually also doing like the Square integration, but they're a Malaysian store. I don't think Square is available in Malaysia.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
All
so
right, so this
yeah,
is the Shop Explorer.
this is
The
the
Shop
Shop
Explorer
Explorer.
is a really great tool to see what other shops are doing, and it's important to not necessarily look at the top shops. Like if you look at what Caitlin Minimalist is doing, great.
But
She's a
you can't
model and
compete with
someplace
that.
to model, but you can't compete with somebody that has 15 plus years on Etsy, millions of sales, because they have a momentum that you will never be able to reach. It's been created over many years of creating quality products, quality listings, and quality advertising. But if you look at shops that are more recent, you will be able to see what is working right now, like what are new sellers that are very successful doing. What about the Keyword Explorer? How can we use the Keyword Explorer to inform us
I
on
think I
what we
want to
want to
first
explore?
also, like, before we leave this page, just
Yes.
like shop name search that you added.
Yes.
I mean, I- it's not, it only searches the shops, right?
Yes. But let's say, for instance,
They
let's say
are.
that we are looking for somebody who is doing mockup, and we are mostly interested in people who do digital downloads. And again, we are only interested in shops that are 6 months of age or less. So first of all, it's going to give us an idea of where the sailing is, right? Like, what is it possible to achieve? It is possible to achieve thousands of sales with this type of digital downloads. Uh, in comparison, the shop that we were showing earlier is not doing that great. It's making some sales, but it's not doing that great. It could be doing a lot better. And you have some shop that are doing it a lot better. How would you use this search by shop name feature
So
now?
these are kind of your competition, right? In general, I would basically track them. I would study their listings, see what they're offering that I'm not offering, what products are doing better versus not. Like right now, I'm sure they're selling because Christmas markups,
Indeed.
But
It looks like, so first of all, even if it's not Christmas markup per se,
they
they
put the Christmas color.
reposition this listing. So this is one of their top listing. It's super recent and it's getting a lot of daily views. This is just selling markup in the Christmas theme. They just position sweatshirt markups into the Christmas space by putting some tree cutting, like pine cones and like the candies and stuff like that, to give like a Christmas, like so they are doing like, what are they doing that is different from others? Well, first of all, they are positioning their listing.
First of all, they're launching a lot more listings than us.
Yes, they have currently
1,200 listings.
1,200 listings, so 10 times more. They are launching a lot of products, so they are trying a lot of different things, and they are shooting at a target a lot more. Second, they are using seasonality to their advantage. Christmas is here, and their product, there is an angle where they can use the seasonality to position their product. So Christmas, let's make Christmas mockup. When it's Easter, we'll make Easter mockup. When it's summer, we'll make summer mockup. And they will do all this.
And these are the shops which are catering to other shops. And there are 7 million Etsy shops.
Yes. So this is the pick and shovel approach, where you are not trying to sell to the end consumer. You are trying to sell to another shop, to another business that needs this thing. And so it's totally valid strategy. Also, in their mockup, like you see a lot in the mockup shops, they will do a mockup where they show one sweatshirt, but here they seem to be focusing on multiple mockups at the same time. And this is kind of what we were saying with the previous shop with the greeting cards, is that it seems like having a collection in the same mockup seems to be something that's working right now. And they do it as well with like family mockup, where you will use your design on many people at the same time, and there are multiple images like this. That seems to be working great. Comparatively with the crochet shop, they're only getting 28 views to just a couple views a day, which is more reasonable. This is more in line with what normal shops are seeing. And this is already phenomenal to have an entire page with multiple views every day. That's how you make consistent sales.
Going back to the topic,
yes,
this is not a strategy meeting. Okay. So going back, I'll just track this shop, and I'll track some other shops that I find interesting.
Track this shop.
Yes. And then
way you will be able to come back in your view and see how they are evolving over time.
Go back to the Shop Explorer page. Yeah, and then in the tracked shop section, you can see all the shops that you're tracking. Yeah, and it gives you an idea, okay, how's your competition doing? Every now and then I go and I kind of see like what my competition is launching. So that's how I use the Shop Explorer page. Now we can probably move to Keyword Explorer.
Keyword Explorer. All right. What about it?
So here I kind of start with like a different approach, where you're like, okay, I'm thinking about selling t-shirts. So I will just say t-shirt, and then I'll see what Listadum shows me.
That is the correct strategy to use the Keyword Explorer, especially if you are like trying to find new ideas, is to start with a super high level topic and then see where it takes you.
There are 10.8 million listings. So anyways, that tells you.
You're not alone selling t-shirts on Etsy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, the competition
basically,
is fierce.
I feel that because I am also not a native speaker. So it gives me an idea of what other ways people use. It's not just t-shirt. They also call it tees. They also call it something else. So kind of getting all the names for
Mm.
my keywords. And
Yeah.
then here, when I put t-shirt and then I go to similar keywords, I see that, okay, so cruise t-shirts, a lot of listings, kind of gives you an idea of what the demand is.
And
Because
also,
there are a
what
lot
is
of,
a cruise t-shirt? Like, I have no idea. So, like, you will want to go in Etsy itself and search for a cruise t-shirt. And it looks like there is some trend going on because you can make like cruise crew t-shirt seems to be in some sort of demand.
yeah. So because I already have launched maybe a listing with these group t-shirts thing, this is in line with what I can add in my shop. Sometimes you don't know, like, because there are so many niches that you can target, you don't know which one is the right one.
Yeah.
So matching cruise
So
t-shirt, apparently matching 90s retro t-shirt seems to be pretty big also.
it seems to be pretty big, but they are extremely competitive. There are a lot of people selling this t-shirt, but like in comparison, there is uh,
A
only
lot of work.
20% of the listings are doing cruise t-shirt, while 90s retro t-shirt it's a lot more competitive.
It
You
is, but
sort by
it's
difficulty
not
here, and you kind of take the only the ones that are
new.
uh, not too new. Like you want something that is relatively statistically significant, meaning
T-shirt
that
mystery box. T-shirt mystery box.
yes. So you could dive in this listing more, like in this keyword more specifically to see what it is about. But before we go there, so the similar keywords are like, what are keywords that have the word t-shirt in them? But that, so this is why when you start with like a very top level category, you don't use that many of the 20 um, characters in the keyword. Therefore, you will have the opportunity to get a lot of similar keywords, a lot of other words that contain the word t-shirt. And so it's a good idea because then you will be able to dive a little more in this. But so these are similar keywords, but you can also find the link keywords. So people do use t-shirt, they like their listing gravitates towards other listings, and we have like a graph at Listadum of like listings and keywords that are kind of like linked to them. And so usually uh, this is very vague because t-shirt is such a vague keyword, but like grandparents and like fathers, gift ideas for best friends, a lot of like grandparents and retirement for some reason. But and then in related keywords, it's like relatively similar to what link keywords are, except here these keywords they appear alongside it, meaning that listings that use the word keywords in their listing also very often use the words best friend gift or Father's Day gift. So like you can find it by occurrences here and see that in, especially in this time of the year, people who sell t-shirts try to position them as Christmas present or cool gift ideas because they really want to lean in the giftability aspect of it.
And then in the bottom, we have the listings, right?
In the bottom, you have listings that use t-shirt as a keyword. Although that come from Etsy when we ask them for the unbiased uh, list of listings that use t-shirts. So like you can see, like this one is using t-shirt directly, but sometimes they don't necessarily use t-shirt directly. It's just like inferred from the listing. Like Etsy, when we ask them for the list of top listing for a keyword, they are going to give you keywords that are best related to that, and it's unbiased. It's not using any personalization. It's not using any ads. Like it's really showing you everything here. So yeah, like we were looking at t-shirts here, and we
So
have
here,
for
like, then I will just create lists of keywords actually to start collecting them, as ideas.
yes. But before collect, like you can collect them, but as you are collecting them, you can also dive a little deeper into a keyword. So see, um, selling a t-shirt is extremely, extremely, extremely competitive. But some people seem to find that the concept of a mystery box for t-shirts is more niche. It lands in a green zone, meaning that there is a lot of demand, but not as much competition. Therefore, it's probably going to be easier to rank for these keywords. As people discover this trend, they are going to position themselves on the mystery t-shirt box, and it's going to be more and more and more and more saturated. This is kind of like the life cycle of a trend. As you dive more
I feel
into
like
the
mystery box is just kind of growing. 27K listings. Interesting, right?
mystery box is an interesting concept in general. It's just a different way to position something. Selling a t-shirt, very hard. Selling a mystery box, no, it's a gift. It's something you are going to give to somebody that they are going to get another surprise. And so it's a different positioning, and sellers are getting the memo that it's a way to make your t-shirt feel different.
That's an interesting niche or product idea. I don't
Yeah,
know.
and so see, for instance, let's say that you have a lot of cardboard available, and you know how to make cool looking mystery box. Uh, well, you can tag this as a high level keyword and go and see in the similar keywords what people are putting in
Right.
this mystery box, like themes based on the year, the 80s, the 90s, the 2000s seems to be pretty popular. Adult, like for adults or for babies. So like these are like more like
Crochet.
different
This is
people,
pretty
different
cool, actually.
eras,
Yeah.
and
So, I
you
mean,
can
this gives
definitely.
you a lot of ideas, and I recommend kind of creating, like, I usually also go to Canva and create an idea board of what I like, generally, like listings that are doing good, things that are look like achievable targets. Um, Also do keyword lists. What else, Cyril?
This is pretty much it. Like you, in the Keyword Explorer, you need to be curious. You need to start somewhere and start exploring, start digging into what you find and into the connections that you can find. Don't type something too precise. If you type something too narrow, then there will not be that many connections. Not that, like if you use too many of the characters, there will not be any similar keywords. There will not be that many linked keywords or related keywords. Therefore, you will not be able to explore so much. So start like unzoom, zoom out to try and find the general thing that you know you can create, and then be curious and explore uh, from there. Start digging from there, and you will find interesting opportunities as you do that.
Yeah, spending a few
You
hours a month on market research, kind
It's a
of.
must. It's a must. Like you cannot expect an Etsy shop to, like, even let's say that you manage to get success for your shop, you cannot expect that this success will continue forever if you don't continue and launch new thing, and kind of follow where the market is taking you. Uh,
I feel
as
like
your
jumping
product
on
are
trends.
successful.
Yeah, jumping on trends earlier is better than kind of figuring it out after the fact. So,
Yes. So here there are like two different. This is not a strategy meeting you were saying, but like there are two different strategies. Obviously, there is the trend hopper strategy where you are trying to find trends before they are cool and hop on them. The second approach is more to follow the market, like not necessarily try to always be on the latest trend, but like follow where the market is taking you. If you have a very successful listing, inevitably other sellers are going to notice and start to position themselves on your niche, on your type of product. And sometimes it's a one-to-one copy. They are like completely copying what you are doing. This is sad, but this is how it's happening. Sometimes it's just more people creating product in that space, and it's going to mechanically dilute your views and therefore your sales. And so it's your job to continuously monitor what the market is doing and continue monitor new opportunities that are being created in a space where you can create products. Like if you are a painter, you want to understand what are the new trends and where the demand is for
Yeah.
paintings. If you are a mockup creator, you want to understand what new uses of mockups people are doing, so that you follow the market where it's going. And if you create this product early, mechanically, you are going to get some momentum, and your shop will grow. If you stay static and don't do any research, any evolution to your shop, it's just going to, it's not even going to stay static. It's going to die down in a matter of months or few years.
Yeah. Okay. So here's a question. After finding a new listing that generates a lot of engagement and sales, where would you start exploring its strategy to success? For example, a new listing that achieves success in an already saturated market. That's a good question. I feel like whenever you study a new listing, you have to figure out what is making this listing special. There are a few things, especially on Etsy, which Etsy generally promotes. For example, they love personalization, they love customization. There is like seasonality trend in Etsy. So figuring out like how these people are presenting their listing in a way which is convincing to the buyers, understanding their strategy. And then you can't really have visibility into their ad strategy, but people say that, oh, it is a saturated market, like mugs is a saturated market, t-shirts is a saturated market, but there are plenty of people who are actually doing amazing in the saturated market, even being new sellers, and understanding what strategy they are using. Are they using a niche that is kind of not very common on Etsy right now? Are they solving a problem that other people are not solving?
Positioning is key. Like positioning is the idea of targeting a specific group of people or a specific use of your product, so that you make it look slightly different from the back.
I
Addressing different
also,
niche, and then obviously early marketing. We
yeah,
talk times and times again in these office hours about momentum and the momentum of sales. If you launch a listing and that for like it stayed there 6 months and doesn't get any views, and Etsy just plain buried it in search, it's going to be very hard to revive it. But if you launch a listing with a lot of intention, in that you do early marketing to it, like you promote it to your social media audiences, you run ads, um, uh, you have already validated that it's working, even though it's a saturated market. If you launch it with intention and with marketing uh, strategies behind it, promoting it everywhere you can to get these initial sales that are going to be the golden signal for Etsy to promote it and show it on page one, then you will get more sales, and it's going to create this virtual cycle. So to answer your question, once you find something good and you launch something in a saturated market, this is not necessarily a problem. It's a problem if you launch the same product as somebody else, hoping it's going to work. That's not how it works. You need to launch something that is in demand, great. Then you need to position it maybe towards somebody slightly different, or you position your product slightly differently to try to reach a subset of the audience. And or I would say more, and you use marketing strategies by using ads, using social media to promote this listing and
there are
create
a lot
this
of
initial
sales.
momentum.
Yeah, there are a lot of shops which do heavy marketing off Etsy to kind of kickstart their shops. Um,
And this is a proven strategy. It works.
Also, I want to kind of cover this before we run out of time. the other way to kind of find out a good place is like just Google keywords or Pinterest trends. They tell you right now what people are searching for. So if you are into jumping on trends, that is a good way to start. Like, for example, Etsy just published their color of the year. Pantone just published their color of the year. So if you are trying to create listings or a t-shirt, do those colors and Etsy is going to promote you. So like jumping on what the market is already looking for and what the platforms are already promoting gives you kind of organic visibility, and you can use it in your strategy toolkit.
Yes. To like give more color to this, especially like on this color of the year, for instance, Etsy is not going to promote you because you're using the color of the year. What happens more is that this color of the year has been established, so a lot of brands are going to start using it, and it's the aesthetic that is going to start dominating marketing and the internet everywhere. And once the aesthetic is working, Etsy is often lagging a little bit behind. Like these trends, they just start appearing everywhere on the internet, in fashion, in magazines, on Pinterest,
a lot of people are publishing them right
social
now.
media. And then people, once they see it everywhere, start thinking like, oh, I actually like this color, and I will want my next t-shirt to be that color, or my next interior decor to be in this theme. And this is the moment where they shop. So if you see these colors that are trending up, positioning yourself early and getting the momentum early makes that you are more likely to rank when people start pouring.
Yeah, I feel like one of the common mistakes people do is like, oh, this trend is okay, let's see if it's picking up. But when it's picked up, you're already too late. So fisherman aesthetic, for example, I was like, oh, these are easy designs, but I never launched anything on that design. But people who did, they have systems in place. They're like, I can create a t-shirt design in 20 minutes and launch it. Then Etsy is sending you traffic. And then another proven strategy that I have seen that works on Etsy is trend stacking. So there was fisherman aesthetics, there was Matchbox, there was all these other trends, and there are Coquette. There were people who stack these, create designs, which
a Matchbox with Coquette bows, and on one side,
Matchbox with Coquette bows, and like, yeah, interesting. Like trend stacking is a thing. People love to do that. And those listings kind of pick up much faster than others. So that's one way of kind of reaching the audience and using the platform to your advantage. Right.
All right. Well, we are at time, and I think it's a good place to stop this recording. Do
you have any other questions?
Yeah, well, thank you very much for attending this office hour and asking questions, and I hope this was interesting. Joachim, are you French? You say it's French, but are you French?